Hey guys, welcome back to World Joe Traveled. Today we're taking a little road trip up to Chicago. So Chicago is about 7.5 hours from where we live in the US. So just really excited to share this little adventure with you guys. Okay, we are at our first charging station. So far so good. We did purchase Chicago Bulls tickets on the way, and we're not exactly sure that we'll make it there in time even for halftime, so we're trying to get there as quickly as possible. But
yeah, we are.
I've never been to an NBA game, and neither have the kids.
I have.
Except one. So, really excited. So on the way up to Chicago, I randomly decided to buy Chicago Bulls tickets. They were around $30 a piece, and we got there after the game had started. But it was so worth it. It was a ton of fun. We hadn't been to an NBA game before, and Michael Jordan was king whenever I was in elementary school, so it was like a childhood dream of mine come true.
United Center at Christmas time was very pretty. There were lights everywhere. They had a big tree in there, and it was a cool place to take the kids. They loved it. They loved the game. They loved walking around afterwards, seeing the Michael Jordan statue and all the lights and trees. It was a neat place to go at Christmas.
Oh my goodness.
We just got done at the Bulls game, and it was so cool. I was living out my 90s girl dreams. Felt like a total fangirl. Guys, what did you think of the Bulls game?
It was pretty fun.
Evan? What'd you think?
Oh, it was cool. United Center, that's where Jordan used to play. Well, after he came out of retirement. Jude, why is your butt in my face?
Right, now we're going to find our hotel.
What do you think, Riley?
It's very cold and windy. The windy city. Don't get my street.
Chicago winters are notoriously cold, so if you're going to be up there during Christmas time checking out everything, definitely bundle up. It is cold, it's windy, there's going to be snow, rain, sleet. Midwestern winters are not fun, especially up in Chicago.
We're at Starbucks.
I've been told I have one.
Getting some hot drinks.
It's so cold outside. Tatum's freezing. Jude, what are we going to do? They're camera shy.
We're going to the London House.
Yeah. We're going to go check out the London House, and then from there, I think we're going to go to the Bean.
The Bean.
And then from there, hopefully the Christmas market. But it's supposed to rain today, so we're just keeping an eye on all of that. So one of the first places we opted to go in Chicago was the London House. So this is a hotel, and it's very centrally located on the river. The walk there was fairly easy. We just walked there from our hotel and got coffee on the way.
This place is pretty.
From the 1970s.
We're at the London House. So this is in Chicago City Center, but we're going out to the rooftop bar because it's supposed to have amazing views. So the London House bar at the very top, it's a rooftop bar, it's all open. They do have igloos that you can rent out, but you have to spend a minimum of $600 in order to rent one of those igloos. So just keep that in mind. We went up there during the day so the kids could get in and they could see the views. It was super pretty up there. We didn't purchase anything. We just walked around and took pictures and just kind of experienced the city from that far up.
So, like the views of the city from up there, I'd recommend any time of year. At Christmas, they had all these props and decorations and stuff set up there to kind of celebrate Christmas in the city. And they had a sleigh, they had a phone booth all decorated up. It was really, really cool up there. The kids loved it. Joanna and I loved it. We got some cool pictures. It was pretty crowded up there though. But yeah, worth a stop.
If you ever go to Chicago, it doesn't matter what time of year, you have to go to Millennium Park. It is probably, well, maybe not the most iconic spot in Chicago, but it's very close. They have the Bean there. There's lots of things to do and see. They do concerts in the summertime, and it's right by the lake. When we were there the last time, which was in March, the Bean wasn't open. They were doing some reconstruction of the outside of it, but it was open this time, and the kids thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, so I have been to Millennium Park several times. I've never been there at Christmas time. They had a massive Christmas tree out there. Not as big as the one you're going to get in New York City or anything, but it was big. It was lit up during the daytime. You'll see later we go back at nighttime, and it's a beautiful place to go in Christmas. Just decorations everywhere. You get to see the Bean. The Bean is always very crowded, so just be prepared to have lots of extra people in your pictures.
How tall is it? I don't know what the ceiling is.
Yeah, where is the ceiling? Where does the ceiling is? Ah, it looks like you're staring at.
Looks weird, doesn't it?
Where? You guys.
Okay. Another thing that you can do at Christmas time in Millennium Park is go ice skating. It's actually free to do it, but you do have to reserve a spot online. We opted not to do this because we just didn't really have time, and the kids were a little bit concerned that they would be falling a whole bunch. So we just decided not to do it, but we did stop and watch, and it was really pretty and very nostalgic.
Walking around Chicago, seeing all the sights, all the famous things decorated for Christmas time with lights on the trees, lights on the light poles, just everything. I mean, they just went all out. The entire city is just lit up, and you can see it during the daytime. It's even better at nighttime, but I mean, just well worth just walking around the city.
Do it,
Guys, we're at the Navy Pier. See all the balls.
She's a natural.
Really?
You gonna put that in the video, Mom?
Oh yeah.
Look at those buildings over there.
Navy Pier is another one of those places in Chicago where it doesn't matter the time of year, go over and visit. It's got different things to do depending on the time of year, but at Christmas time, again, I mean, they just had Christmas decorations everywhere, lots of little pop-up light displays and things to see. The Ferris wheel was still running. You got great views of the city out there. It was a little foggy when we were out there, but it was, I mean, inside it's just like a massive mall, lots of food, lots of places to see, and just definitely worth a stop.
Yeah, the kids loved it, and they did have a Christmas experience there. We didn't have time to do it, and it was around $12 per person, but you got to walk through this massive area with all these Christmas decorations. We're at the FlyOver in Chicago. So since it was cloudy outside, we were looking for something to do with the kids, and we opted to do the FlyOver. And to be honest, my expectations were pretty low. I thought it would be just very touristy and probably not worth the money that I spent on it. But we ended up thoroughly enjoying it. We loved it.
Guys, I lost Hey, wait, our hotel. It's like...
Hello, building. Why is that guy
Why is it busy? Look how big is the tower.
So we ended up going twice. They only had 2 options playing. So the first one was Chicago and the other one was Iceland. And they were both super cool. Guys, we went on the flyover earlier and it was so cool. We're going again.
But a different one this time.
Yes, an Iceland one.
Iceland. They've only been there.
So ever since I got high tea in the UK, I really wanted to take my kids to experience it. So I researched and they had a couple of options in Chicago for high tea. I opted for the Russian tea time just because they had options available or reservations available, and it was the cheapest option as well. The kids loved it, especially the girls. The boys were like, oh, this is okay. But yeah, it's something you should do if you're in Chicago. So one of the main reasons we came to Chicago at Christmas time was to see the Christmas market. I got a little mug and we're getting ready to go in. I'm so excited. So we were unable to go to European Christmas markets this Christmas, so I was doing some research to see where I could find some within the US. The one that came up first was the one in Chicago. So this one is the most legitimate, or I guess authentic European Christmas market that is in the US. So I would say around 90% of the vendors were from either Germany, Switzerland, or from France, and they had handmade ornaments. They had gold wine, I hope I'm saying that correctly. They had German beers. They had a lot of foods that are from the European region, and that aspect of it was really cool. It was free to get into, but it was insanely crowded, and you had to bring cash or you wouldn't have been able to purchase anything. Christmas market, it is crazy busy. I don't think the ones in Europe would be like this.
Have you been to one?
No, I haven't, not yet.
They did have ATMs scattered throughout the market that you could go get cash at if you didn't bring any with you, and ended up being what we had to do. We found out the hard way. Every single thing was crowded. Like, we had to stand in line to get into ornament shops. We had to stand in line to get food, and I'm not talking like 4 or 5 people deep. I'm talking 20 to 30 people deep for a lot of these things. The food, we didn't end up getting anything other than a few little treats for the kids, but like the food looked really good. There were pierogies there, brats there, all sorts of stuff. They had raclette cheese from Switzerland there, which I wanted to stand in line for, but it was about 40 people back. But it was way too crowded for my taste.
I think if you were to go on a weekday, it wouldn't be as bad. Probably a weekday morning would be the best time to avoid the crowds. Hey guys, we just left the Christmas market, the one in Chicago. So this is the closest one that we could get to that was not in Europe. I will say it was insanely crowded. You barely couldn't walk anywhere. So I'm not sure that I would recommend this, especially this close to Christmas. Additionally, you have to bring cash. If you don't have cash, you're going to be screwed. So there's multiple ATMs in there, but make sure that you've got some cash or a way to get cash whenever you're in there. Otherwise, you won't be able to buy anything. There were a couple of stalls that took cards, but not any with food. So it was cute, way overcrowded. Don't know if I would highly recommend this one, unfortunately.
So we went at night, and it was still crazy crowded. We had actually gone by the day before when we were originally planning to go, but there was a line several hundred people back just waiting to get in to crowds like what we had whenever we first got in there. So we only spent about an hour in there and decided to leave, and we ended up walking down to Millennium Park at night, which wasn't a far walk away from the Christmas market, and seeing the tree lit up at night, Millennium Park lit up at night, and it was beautiful. They still had the ice skating going. They had like just light displays everywhere. The Christmas tree, you can see in the pictures, was just absolutely beautiful. Well worth the walk to go over there at night. Definitely colder at night, but in my opinion, worth it.
That's all we've got for you guys today. We hope that this is helpful for you on your next trip to Chicago. We highly recommend going there at Christmas time. If you find our information useful, please like, subscribe, share, and save. And if you want to catch up on the other adventures we've been on, you can do so here.